Welcome, everyone, to another episode of How I Met Your Mortgage. We're having a few technical difficulties this morning, both myself and our guest, but neither here nor there. We'll have to give her a little bit of a rundown on what we do because she's not been on the show and we're a little tardy getting to it. So, for all of you listening or watching live or live, certainly in syndication, maybe you're going to pick up a few of these little glitches, but thank you for the tolerance. This is what happens when we do live broadcasts. So I am pleased to welcome to the show a first-time guest, a friend and colleague out of Las Vegas, Nevada, Jennifer Buserini. Jennifer, are you there?
I'm here. Hello.
Oh, we can hear you. We cannot see you, but we can work through tech stuff as we go on. So, Jennifer, you've never been on the How I Met Your Mortgage podcast before, correct?
I don't think so. Although, you did call me once, so it was a while ago though, so maybe I did go on it. I don't
It
completely remember.
it could be. I can't remember either, but let's start with a little bit of background because that's our normal MO, who you are, what you do, how you got started. Although now that I'm thinking about it, it does seem like we went into detail on that more than just a one-on-one conversation, that you may have actually been a guest on the podcast before. But I seem to recall your ex-husband was in the business or was in real estate, and I'm having some flashbacks about your history in the mortgage space, so it's certainly possible. But if our listeners, if our viewers are able to pick up on more of that than I am, then God bless them. But yeah, give us a little bit of background. How did you get started in all this?
Yeah, so you're correct. My ex-husband, he's a realtor, and I got into the
Okay.
real estate, world with him back in like 2007 when the market was tanking, but he had REO contracts, so he was really, really busy. I started assisting him in real estate, got into that side. And after a handful of years, just really got sick of the lenders that I worked with. So I thought, control freak in me, that I'm just going to do this myself then, even for just my own clients. And it just honestly became a better fit for me. And so I still keep my real estate license, but I don't actively do real estate unless you are a very, very close friend, family member. I don't have time to go out showing houses. But so yeah, I started as a realtor, and now I'm been full-time mortgage for a while now, 10 years.
Well, yeah. Okay. I wonder how many real estate agents are now talking about you and I the way you just talked about all the other lenders when you were a real estate agent.
But what? You cut out.
Yeah. I wonder how many real estate agents talk about you and I as lenders the way you just talked about lenders when you were a real estate agent.
Um,
We'll let you guys keep your secrets.
well, it depends. I mean, hey, what does everyone complain about? The lender doesn't answer the phone, or they don't give answers. So my way that I attack it is, if I can be the lender that I wanted to work with, then that's usually gets rid of most of the complaints, because I do answer the phone, or I will deliver the updates and whatnot. So I try and use my experience being on the other side as a frustrated realtor to, determine how I handle my business on this side. So
Okay. That's an interesting translation. And I mean, obviously, we've come across a handful of people that have made that transition over the years, and a handful of people that have gone the opposite direction over the years. But it's not a lot. I mean, if we look at the population of real estate agents or the population of mortgage originators, obviously those are very, very different right now. Um, I don't know a lot of people that went from real estate to lending or vice versa. Literally, just a handful here and there. Seems weird. Well,
yeah, I mean, they a lot of times you think the other side, oh, it's easier, and neither is easier or harder. They're just different. And I've talked to a lot of realtors who say, "Oh, I've thought about getting my lender license," and then they, think a little more and realize how much is involved, and they realize, no, I don't want to do that. So
I had
Yeah.
one real estate agent know on a handful of occasions she said to me, "Wow, lenders make so much more money." Like, wow,
Uh,
no, they don't. But neither here
and
nor there. The grass is always greener.
exactly where you water it, that's where the grass is green.
Yeah, the I got news for you kids. The grass is green where you water it.
Yes.
That's pretty much the secret. Okay, so for about a decade, and if memory serves, you just made a pretty significant company change.
I did.
Tell
I
us
went from
about
a
that.
well, I it's funny because I wasn't really looking to change, although sometimes when you look back, you're like, all right, maybe some of the things that I was like, I was never unhappy in this industry, but we all have our moments. I mean, we all have frustrations, and I can attribute some of it, not all of it, to honestly just my company setup and the way we were. I'm not bashing that company. It just it was fine for a while it lasted, but we just they had a
Oh,
different
we're
direction.
getting some really weird feedback on your audio, Jennifer.
I'm trying to move to where there might be good signal.
There
Is
you
this better?
go. Way
Okay.
better.
Okay. Yeah, I just went to the other side of the room, which is strange. So no, I mean, I've been approached quite a bit because, being in Nevada, it's a harder state to get licensed in as a mortgage brokerage because it requires brick and mortar office. You have to have your QE physically live there and be originating for at least 2 years. So, some of these companies, that have multiple states, a lot of them have reached out over the years. And I really never really listened to the spiel. And it wasn't that I was against them. I just wasn't looking to move. And when the company I switched to, approached me, it was just, I think, perfect storm of timing. Just some things have been going on within the company I was that I just, was increasingly unhappy with things. And it was just the right people that came to me. So, yeah, we just opened a branch for Rialpha Mortgage in Nevada. So
Ah,
there we are.
for Rialpa. Gotcha. Yeah, I knew that there was
Yeah.
a change that I was familiar with. And now that answers that. Very cool. There's a stellar group of people, top to bottom with Rialpha. There's some amazing folks there. We've obviously had a good number of them on the podcast. Chris Griffith has been on the show, I don't know, half a dozen times. Rocky's been on the show. And obviously some very, very dear friends. So yeah, that's really a, a positive change, I would think. You're enjoying it thus
Yeah.
far?
Yeah, so far so good. I mean, we had a couple little snags. It was right as we were getting to transition over, the state of Nevada, statewide, had a cyber attack where all state systems were completely down. So I removed my access from the other company, and then we couldn't get the final company approval for Rialpha because the state of Nevada was down.
Down. Yeah, that's just bad
So
timing.
that was a snafu. Yeah, it was just one of those, of all 50 states to have a cyber attack, it was Nevada, and of all weeks, it was then. So I did have to, carry my Nevada license temporarily with another company just to tide me over. A great friend Elena Boland, helped me out there. But yeah, now Rialph is up and rolling, and it's a great team over there. I honestly wouldn't have listened to many people with their company proposal, but because of who it was, Nathan and Chris, I have been part of that VA since the beginning. um, I have a lot of faith and trust in them, and I think Jamie's wonderful, and she's over there now. So yeah, that's where I am. That's what we're doing.
Tell our audience a bit about making that kind of a change, because obviously we hear that question a lot. We have a lot of coaching clients that change over the course of our program, those kinds of things. What were some of the real challenges outside of the state of Nevada having IT issues? But was it rebranding? Was it new systems? What were some of the pitfalls that people should look out for when they're doing this?
Well, for me, it wasn't necessarily a pitfall, because I mean, yes, it's change of systems, but where I came from, I mean, I knew it was kind of an archaic, hodgepodge system, very small company, and they just kind of threw things together. And Um, so I went from really having not much of a system and a mess of systems to having all things in place. And so I had to relearn how I probably should have been doing it all along, which is a good thing. And I think back now, and I don't even know how I've done as well as I've done the way we were set up. It was like I was dropped in the middle of the ocean, forced to swim to an island where I hung out by myself for 10 years. But I figured it out and I, did well. But now here I'm in a place where they have, like I said, real systems. So I guess if you come from a place where you have systems in place and then you are transitioning to something different, it's like when you pick up a new lender and you have to learn their portal and everyone has their quirks. But
Nope. Did we lose you? Jennifer? No, I think we dropped Jennifer again. That's not good. And yeah, I do think that the systems are part of it, but a lot of you that are considering making a company change, if you've historically done this in a wise manner, you're controlling all, if at least most, if not all, of your assets, your website, your email, your social media assets, all the other web assets that go along with that. So that a lot of people don't even really know what's going on. It would be Bob Jones at the Jones Real Estate Group for email and the Jones Real Estate Group for website and for business web assets, social media assets, those kinds of things. So, I mean, obviously you may still have some other hiccups that go on in that process, but it really shouldn't be all that big a deal if you are managing and maintaining your own assets properly before you make a change, because that's obviously a very big deal. If not, then you're probably falling victim to your old company cutting you out of your CRM, out of your systems, maybe even soliciting to your old client base, those kinds of things. And it does happen, and it's the nature of the beast, which is why we so emphatically ask that you guys are running and controlling and maintaining all of your own assets that way. I do also think, and I don't know if we have Jennifer back or not, she may have muted herself, or no, I did not accidentally mute her. Good. That there's some rebranding that has to go on as well. And if we're in this a long time, I see we did lose Jennifer. Hopefully she'll log back in here. But I know that over time, we tend to get into our brand, whether it's a Realpha, whether it's a Remax, whether it's Keller Williams, whatever the case may be, that obviously comes with some things that we have to deal with as well. And I know, Jennifer, are you back?
I'm
No?
back. I'm back. I saw your face was frozen and I thought, well, if he's talking, I can't hear him and who knows if he can hear me. So sorry
Okay.
about that.
No, you're good. One of the things that I had monologued about, and certainly making these kinds of company changes when it comes to assets like email or website or social media assets, those kinds of things. But one of the things that I do think becomes a big issue when we're changing companies is the rebranding. Like you had said, over the course of 10 years and being in the same place out on the little island by yourself, your island becomes your brand. And now you've got Realpha to use as your brand. Although I've always thought it should just be Jennifer branding Jennifer, that kind of thing. But
I
when
agree.
we were talking about assets, obviously one of the things that we just absolutely harp on with all of our clients and colleagues is that we're maintaining all of that. We have, Jennifer at the Jennifer Mortgage team for email and Jennifer Mortgage team for website and for Facebook business page and Insta and LinkedIn and TikTok, whatever. Because obviously, if we're going to make changes like you did, then if we're building and maintaining our own assets, whether it's CRM, email, website, social media, etc., then nobody actually knows we're making a change. Not our clients, not our colleagues, not our referral partners, so on and so forth, because it's still Jennifer at the Jennifer Mortgage team, whatever the case may be. But the other piece of that, of course, is the branding, and that's another significant switch. Now, I know you had done some of that work because you and I had exchanged a few emails when you made that change. You had emailed your database
Mm-hmm.
making this change.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I had exchanged a couple back and forth. But what other things have you had to do or will have to do? It hasn't been that long, obviously, in terms of rebranding. What other kinds of things you have
I
to
think it's
work on?
um well, I mean, admittedly, it wasn't as good at keeping things separate. I think because, the way we started with that last company, is, now a former, friend of mine who owned it. And I just really never anticipated leaving there, which was my own naivety, right? So I didn't keep things as separate as I probably should have. And I didn't do as much branding of myself as I could have, should have. Those are those things that I need to outsource because I don't know how to do those things. I don't have time to do all those things myself. So it's more of that, just kind of going back to what should have been the basics, should have been things I was doing all along, um, and just having the good CRM, the good client records, a good Jennifer Mortgage Company type of thing, so that way we never know what's going to happen in our business, and that way it's a seamless transition. That way people know they're just going to the same place to reach me where they always did, versus, oh gosh, now she's not there. And I know some of the emails, because they've been forwarded to me, are written like, we don't know if Jennifer's even in the business anymore, is kind of the gist that's being told, which is unfortunate. Again, that's how some people operate. So, and that could have been prevented had I had better systems set up initially. So now it's me going back and doing those things that I should have started doing 10 years ago. So
Okay.
that's where I am
Well,
with
and
that. So there's not a
it's
lot to
never
it's not
too
a lot.
late to put good systems in place. So that's
Correct.
actually a positive.
Yeah.
Although I think a lot of us would be amazed that you've done this the way that you've done this for as long as you've done this without that and have had such success doing it. That's really cool. That speaks volumes about how you've been able to do this over the last decade.
Yeah. And I could have made my life a lot easier, but. And then, it was a few years ago. I was a panelist at the Originator Connect conference in Las Vegas, and
Sure.
people are asking me, "Well, what's your tech stack? What's this?" And I was almost embarrassed to say I don't really have much of one. But the point, behind that is you can be a good LO with a legal pad and a paper Rolodex, like the old kind from the 90s. You technically can. Will you be as efficient? No. Will you probably pull your hair out? Yes. But you can have all the tech in the world if you don't know how to utilize it. And you know, beyond that, if you aren't good at your job, your craft, if you aren't truly a good loan officer, I don't care what CRM you have, what tech system you're using with, what your LOS is, it doesn't matter. If you're not a good loan officer, you're not a good loan officer. The rest of it makes it easier, but it's not going to make you or break you.
Okay, Jen, now I got to know, do you have an HP mortgage calculator on your desk?
No. No, and I don't have a paper Rolodex, but I do
All
keep
right.
a whiteboard. Like, I know there's all these systems. I still like things in front of my face. I don't print paper files, but I keep a whiteboard of my pipeline in front of me.
Same. I do as well.
Yeah,
Actually,
I like
we use the big marker boards for a lot of things. There are probably a half a dozen of them in my office, and different people use them for different things. But yeah, I absolutely still have the pipeline on the marker board, up to date in my office.
yeah.
No question. Yeah, what's old is new
Yeah, I
again.
like
I
to
don't know.
see things. Yeah, and not just digitally. I mean, I know everything's digital, but if it's right there in front of I've got little post-it notes stuck in a lot of different places. I
Oh, that
usually
I
keep the
don't
new,
do.
conforming. And FHA loan limit is usually on a little sticky note on the top of my computer screen for a couple months until I memorize it.
So you remember
So it's
what
just
it
those,
is.
I mean, right. It's like, oh yeah, they just updated it to this, and there it is in front of me. So
I saw my team do a lot of that
my
when
login.
TRID came about. When we started doing TRID, I saw people putting a lot of notes on stickies and putting them up on probably on the marker boards until that data was committed to memory. that kind of thing.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, the pipeline is also electronic because my team has to be able to see it. So
Sure.
it's shared technology where Erica in Florida can see it, and Mindy in Denver can see it, and I can see it, and on and on. But I do
Right.
still dig the marker board, no question about it.
Yeah,
Okay,
I just
so
like to see it in front of my face. That way I don't
what
forget.
kinds
I've
of
forgotten about.
what do you know about tech stack now? What are you doing differently that you weren't doing prior to Realpha?
Well, I mean, I just switched over. So
Been
I'm
about a
not doing a
month, if
whole lot.
memory serves.
Yeah, it's been about a month, but it was really just last week that Nevada came on board. So the last
Ah,
month was a struggle because I'm licensed in multiple states. Most of my business is Nevada, but all of my other states were with Realpha, and Nevada was temporarily at another company. So I was, logging into two different companies' things, had two different logins for each lender, depending on, what I was working
what
on.
state it was in, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, most of my things are Nevada. I had a couple things going on in Florida, but that so I really feel like it's been just a week that I've been 100% with Realpha, and so now I can kind of go, all right, I can have things a little, cleaned up, get a real, a good CRM, together, update my, website or HomeBot or whatever it is that I'm using. But I don't even know all the different tech things out there because I'm not a tech savvy person, but I need to be because that's just the future. I don't utilize any of the AI stuff, and I know I should because that's the way everything is. But it's if I start to think about too much, then I get overwhelmed. I'm like, oh, forget it. But I just need to say, all right, one thing at a time. Let me learn some new thing. Let me see how I can implement this here. And I do find that I have more time with each file just because we do have good systems in place, where again, I was doing so much of even the processing end of it. And part of that was by choice because again, I'm a control freak. But they just have a much more streamlined system. So I'm like, wow, that's all I need to do right now. Where normally I would have been an extra, 30, 45 minutes ish, which is not a lot of time, but that adds up. So
Oh,
I
sure.
find myself time that I can start, cleaning things up, my file management, and start to see what's the best things I can use because I'm not ready to retire. It's easy to say, oh well, I just got a few more years, and let me just keep doing what I'm doing and sail into the sunset. The reality is that's not what my life is going to be. So, and I don't really want it to be because I feel like I have a new drive now that I'm not bogged down by so many things. So yeah, just what's out there that is going to make me the best me that I can be, and how can I improve on what I'm already doing?
I love it. That's really
Yeah.
cool stuff. And your sights are set on CRM being the first,
I have one.
top of your
I just,
list.
yeah, I mean, I finally, got one and, popped people in there, but it was just like how you got the email blast because it just wasn't all synced right. And, everything was so hectic. And because that one said Realpha, and I didn't want to send that to everyone because I wasn't there for Nevada. So I did just send out like a generic Gmail Gmail blast, which is what you ended up getting. Um, but yeah, now getting that dialed in so I can filter out, different contacts, because I got a lot of bounce backs, bad emails and things. It was pretty much every contact I've ever emailed in the last 10 years got an email from me. So that's what it's just kind of cleaning that up and then creating the systems within there that, most people already do. And I just never did.
I think
Um,
that's a pretty common thing.
yeah.
I think there are a lot of agents, a lot of originators. There are probably a ton of people in these other industries that are similar, where we've got a direct to consumer, large ticket item insurance, financial planning, et cetera, that aren't doing it, or just learning how to do it, or are, finally coming of age, as it were, technological age. And I seriously doubt that you're alone.
No, yeah, I mean, well, the people of our age group, if I go ahead and say that,
Yeah.
are probably like us, have all the things, but the younger people, they embrace the technology a little easier, which my assistant is my daughter's, it'll be my son-in-law eventually, but they're not married yet. But he is in his late 20s, and so he can see things and learn things. And even within Realpha, they have a lot of different tech stuff, and they're coming up with new tools, like when clients upload their documents, it's they can use some AI to read things just to make our life easier. And they don't even have all that going, or if they do, I don't even know how to use it yet. But those are things to where, for me, I'm like, whoa, oh my God. And he's like already grasped the concept. So I think just that younger generation and people in their 20s and early 30s, they are just more adept to technology because it's always been a part of their lives.
Yeah, they were
Where you remember
essentially born with it.
Yeah, I remember not ever having a cell phone, and so do you. I remember not having a computer and internet. I remember the world before that existed. So, yeah.
Seems like a
But
long time
I
ago, but
think
yes.
it was. And I wasn't in this industry during that time, but I can tell you it wasn't long before I got into this, because before I got into real estate, I was a hairdresser, and everything is very manual with a hairdresser. I I had an email, didn't utilize it. I did not know how to attach a document to an email.
Okay.
And I remember my ex-husband, he was like, "You're kidding." I'm like, when have I had to email anybody? Like,
And,
I just
and
haven't. So
certainly
I
attaching
figure
documents, yeah.
yeah, there wasn't. And so now I find myself, when you have some of those technology challenged clients, and I've been able to walk them through how to do certain things. I'm like, all right, you see that little arrow? That's how you download. And I've taught people just even over the phone how to save a document and then attach it. I'm like, see a little paper clip and send it to me. And they feel so proud and accomplished. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, that was me, you know, not that long ago, really. I mean, I guess about, 20 years ago, but that's really not
Right.
that long ago in my world. So, but,
Okay.
but yeah, I think.
I'm going to have you start walking all our clients through how to download tax transcripts. And when we're done with that, we'll go program your parents' VCR.
There you go.
Yeah, there's the that's the modern day version of helping your parents program their VCR. Well, cool. Thank you so much for doing this. I can't believe how quickly our 30-minute window buzzes by when we're just having a chat about work and having somebody that's fresh on the heels of making a big company change is kind of nice as the timing goes. And obviously we've had this booked for a long time, but this is something that, goes on a lot in these different industries. And the timing is just never really such that we get to really pick somebody's brain while it's really fresh. So that's really opportune for us and for our audience. So thanks for doing it.
Well, I'm glad I could, and I will say this real quick. I know we're just about out of time, but because I've seen people in this industry and they think they want to go from company to company to company, and then you have to look and go, okay, is it the company's reason why I'm not doing well, or is it me? And the reality is, it's you. The company,
Probably.
set up, or whatever. Some things can help you, but if you are a bad loan officer, or I mean, even if you're a bad loan officer, if you are just good to your clients and have good customer service, people can help you do the loan. So you have to look beyond just the company. That's not going to be your saving grace. So those who are all constantly flipping companies, it's like figure out what the underlying reason for your want to change
Yeah,
is. And
there's a common factor there.
yeah,
And yeah, a lot of people are slow to realize it, just human nature. But yeah, there are a lot of things that can be reworked without it having to be the company you work for.
Yeah. They just thought, let me chase a shiny new object. Something new sounds great, and the recruiters did their job well by polishing up that shiny object. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing. So trying to get my head on straight and learn how to do things the way I should have been doing them all along. So
Well, it's a ton of work.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, so we'll certainly look for great things coming soon.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well,
And I
again,
guess
thank you
first,
for carving out the time. I know it's difficult.
and I should have calibrated my calendar better. That way I had this notification earlier.
Yeah, that's a
But
tough
I
one
made it.
too.
I made it.
Yeah, here we are. You
Okay.
did indeed. All right. For the rest of you watching or listening live or in syndication, you can catch new episodes of How I Met Your Mortgage live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube on Mondays at 9:30 Pacific, 12:30 Eastern. We will not be doing a show next Monday. We're going to take that week off, but we'll be back the week after that, and we probably do 40 or 45 episodes every year. And a mere 48 hours after we're live, you can catch the podcast on Amazon, Apple, and Spotify. And for all the things, Just the Tips, check out justthetipscoaching.com. You can find information about previous podcasts. You can find our video blog, The Weekly Little Tip. You can find copies of my books. Whatever you guys want to find out about Just the Tips, you can get it at justthetipscoaching.com. Jennifer, thank you again. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to run our extra, and I'll take just a couple more minutes of your time to wrap things up. And for the rest of you, we'll see you next time.